I'm on the drugs of life. I'm just happy to be here. I've been to so many funerals, frankly, I'm just glad. Right, here we go. Hello, welcome to Quick Food for Carers. I'm Nick Pandolfi and I've been on food colouring. How are you? On my right we have got Millie and we have got Lola and we've got Ben Coomber.
Hello.
And we are in his kitchen. And if you don't know Ben, where have you been? He is the UK's #1 downloaded podcast when it comes to all things health, nutrition, public speaking. And if you want to check him out, just search for Ben Coomber. That is COOMBER Radio. Ben Coomber Radio. You will find him. And we are cooking in your kitchen again.
Let's go. Let's cook.
What are we cooking?
We're cooking a Spanish Frittata.
Oh, frittata, very nice.
I don't know if that was a Spanish accent, but it sounded good at the time.
Right,
so I'm diving straight in. I don't know about you guys. We'll talk as we cook.
What are you doing?
So I'm going to start to get the vegetables underway. So I'm going to put some coconut oil into the frying pan. Big fan of coconut oil. I think any cooking oil is pretty healthy as long as we don't heat it up too high. I think what's important in cooking as well is the oil and how it tastes. Mm-hmm. And I'm a big fan of how coconut oil tastes with eggs. And this is an egg-based dish.
With eggs, yes.
Yes. So we're doing eggs. So I'm now going to get all the vegetables prepared. We're going to whip it in the pan and then we're going to go. So as hopefully you can see with me preparing this dish, you can start to see how you would change this dish depending on what you like. So if you loved mushrooms, if you loved sweet corn, if you loved peas, you can get it into this dish. Traditionally you'd use sort of peppers, onions, paprika. I'm going to put some sweet corn in it. I've got some baked potatoes here as well. Mm-hmm. Great food that you can pre-cook, sit in the fridge. I'm going to cut up a cold baked potato and throw it in as well. So easy.
And you two, you're at West Suffolk College.
Yeah.
And catering?
In the health and social.
Health and social, okay. Yeah. But a bit of catering you've done as well.
Yeah.
And as someone tells me, pretty good with lasagna. Is this true?
I love lasagna.
Lasagna's good.
Oh.
And not too difficult to make, is it?
No, it's not actually.
Layer it, enjoy
Yeah.
it. And you, caring experience, you both looked after your granddad, haven't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was that like for you? What did you learn about the whole caring experience? Were you aware of it before you actually were involved?
Yeah, because my granddad had a brain tumour, so we kind of knew that we would have to step in and help him. But he still wanted to be independent, like go shopping by himself and stuff.
So you really had quite poor health, didn't you, in the end?
Yeah, yeah.
So he was very reliant on you?
Yeah, and my nan mostly, because they live on a farm, so she had lots of spare time to be with him. And my mum took time off work to look after him as well.
Well, what did you learn? What did you actually learn about, Millie? What did you learn about yourself from the experience? Because you were looking after your granddad as well.
Yeah, I think it's a really big eye opener because obviously they are very vulnerable and they rely on you. Like if you're not a young carer or haven't ever been a young carer or a carer in general, you won't understand what it's like. Like with my granddad, he couldn't do much for himself. He couldn't get out of bed. He couldn't get dressed. So obviously we had other carers come into the house to help that. But because I was so close with my granddad, I think it really brought out a bond between us.
He must have loved that you were there.
Yeah.
Really?
No, yeah, I think he did like it that he had his family there as well as carers that he didn't know because he wasn't very a big people person, he didn't go out a lot. So yeah, I think it was nice to have.
Well, a lot of us are quite private and frankly, total strangers suddenly come into our lives because we need them to. Actually knowing that you're there as support and family support is there.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, alright. What about the frittata? You fancy making this? You like coconut oil?
Yeah, I do like coconut oil.
What about, you're not convinced by the frittata yet?
It's probably because I'm making a right mess.
No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. What do you think so far?
Yeah, it's good. Smells good. Very colourful.
It is very colourful.
Right.
Is that fair to say when it comes to good nutrition that actually the more colourful your plate, actually the likelihood is that the food is better for you?
Yeah, look at the colour we've got in here already. Yellows, greens, we could get red pepper in there, we've got sweet corn. I think this, and the thing with colour is you're often getting different vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, flavonoids. So yeah, the broader broader amount of foods that you can have in your diet, you're always going to benefit your health. Always, always, always.
Okay, alright.
So the vegetables is going to simmer away. I'm using my hand because it's not quite hot yet. When that gets hot, I will definitely use a spatula. And then really, I've got to crack loads of eggs in here. Now depending on how filling you want it to be, how much protein you want, there's obviously protein and fat, and an egg, very cheap source of healthy protein and fat. I'm going to put about probably about 10 eggs in here, and I'm going to chuck it in there, and that would do someone 2 to 3 meals. How we're going to cook this depending on the size of the person, how hungry they are.
Okay. When You saw eggs. I'm going to guess. It is. That's what frittata is, really, isn't it? It's like a big. It's an omelette you can't really get wrong, because sometimes when you're making an omelette, you can ruin a pan and you can ruin the omelette. It can become really leathery.
Yep.
But with this, actually, it's quite forgiving. If you're not particularly, because Ben isn't a chef, I'm not a chef. You too? No? Certainly not.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. Not yet. But you can. It's quite forgiving, this, isn't it?
It is, and if I'm really honest, because I like to save time, I like convenience, and I think it's definitely a man trait. I'm going to prepare this dish, and it's all going to look nice, and we're going to put the egg in there, and we're going to cover it. I'll probably stand here and go, I'm really hungry. So if I do this and mix up all the egg and turn it into kind of scrambled egg, I'll get to eat quicker. So you could make a frittata, or you could end up making like vegetable scrambled egg, because that's what I would do, because I'm a hungry man in a hurry.
And one thing we all agreed on when we were prepping today was that we all really like tinned sweet corn, don't we?
Yeah.
There's something about tinned sweet corn that's just like, oh, it's nice on the cob.
Yeah.
Apart from the little bits that get in the teeth sometimes, you know, and you've got to do that polite thing where you're going,
So
tinned sweet corn, none of that.
Lovely. But I must interrupt you.
Yes.
This is probably the best ingredient for
What is it?
a frittata. It's smoked paprika.
Oh, yeah.
Get loads of it in here.
Nice
I
and
find that
liquidy.
typically people underspice their food. It's like a little bit of a, oh, it doesn't really taste much of that.
Yeah, some
Get
people
the
just don't like-
spice in
but
there.
some people don't like that.
Get it in there.
Oh, I tell you, if you don't like eggs, you don't like spicy food. This is a nightmare. This is like torture. You will find other episodes that don't have too many eggs in. If you're not convinced yet, we get to taste it, of course.
So because we're filming and we've set up and I haven't got a fork, I'm going to use a knife to whisk. But basically, we're now going to whisk up the eggs, and then the eggs, once the vegetables is cooked, we're just going to throw it on top of there, and it's going to slow cook. So maybe we could take a convenient cut, and then we'll come back to it being beautifully simmering away.
Sounds like a very good idea. We'll be back in a couple of mo's. Look at that.
Cool, happy?
Lovely, yes. Very good. So how many eggs you got? Well, we are back with Ben's frittata, and what has happened is basically that everything in there has softened down.
Soften down. If you like your vegetables a bit more al dente, then you
Crunchy.
could maybe not cooking too much. But basically, the egg is just now going to go in. Just get it all around. You don't really want to stir it up too much. You just want to let the egg kind of simmer into all the little
And then
gaps.
that little skin will then sort of form a bit like, it looks like that early stage of a pancake, doesn't it, around the
Well,
edge?
then you want one of these, a lid, which I conveniently had hidden, and we're just going to put that there, drop it down, and then we're just going to simmer that on a low heat, and then you'll want to keep checking to how well it's cooked by just putting a knife in and opening up and making sure the inside of the egg's cooked, because you can easily take the lid off and go, oh, that looks quite cooked, but actually when you separate it a bit, there's still raw egg in there. So make sure just a nice low heat, 6 to 10 minutes depending on the kind of heat and stuff, and then you are in, you're ready to eat, and then that can cool, it can go in the fridge, you can heat it up in the microwave again tomorrow. Simple, simple meal, and also super cheap because of the eggs and just vegetables.
It's a meal on a plate. You could have a bit of a salad with it, couldn't you?
Yeah,
if
you
wanted
could,
to?
yeah.
You get some chips with it.
You could have whatever you want with it, Nick, or it could be a complete meal on its own.
Lovely. If you want to find the recipe, details online, of course, check it out.
Chef.
Fork, you. It's frittata time when it comes to quick food for carers. Ben, Lola and Millie and myself, we are all ready to try the Coomber frittata.
There it is, so it's been simmering away. There you go, it's nice and solid. So
It is.
that means it's cooked. Which means we can, you know, if depending on... It was solid.
There's no movement at all there.
Let's hope it's not overcooked. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a quarter out, which might be a portion for someone. I'm just going to get the spatula under it. Hopefully it's going to work and not fall apart. I've got it, Nick. Look at that. Look at that.
That's very good.
You couldn't even do that on television.
You
Look at
two
that.
don't want to try this, do you? No, because you think it might be a little bit too hot. So I'm bravely going to go in. You're kicking.
I'm keen. I'm keen.
Sure?
I'm just a hungry guy. I'll always eat it.
Oh.
Simple flavours. It's hard to talk when you've got a mouthful of food.
I'm going to swallow quickly, even though it's going to hurt all the way down. But that is really, really good. Really, really good. The recipe you will find, You're so lucky you didn't get it in the face. It really has. It's gone over your sink. Anyway, you'll find the recipes online. Ben Coomber, thank you so much for all that you've done for us today.
Good food.
And we'll be back with another quick food for carers very, very soon. Right, where did I put my fork? It's really tasty.